Welcome to VillageTV, the story behind small business and entrepreneurs. And today we have the one and amazing Nick from Upology. Mate, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for having me today.
It's so good to have you, and I'm really excited. You're going to be telling us about the 6 key principles that led you to have an amazingly successful life and business. And I got to say, we're like Facebook buddies, and this guy is always in like first-class lounge in international airports around the world. He makes you like, he's one of those friends on Facebook that you hate because you're like, where are you now? Seriously?
Yeah, just traveling.
You're a coach. You're like an inspiration. You're one of those guys that people want to follow.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And you are. And what I love about your book and what you do is that you've taken everything you've learned, everything you've systemized, and you put into 6 key principles that anyone can implement in their life and business to make it rewarding and fun and amazing and be everything you want to be.
Yep.
And today we're going to talk about those 6 principles. Right. We're going to talk about what you learned and how you can put that into your life and implement it. Some of the failures businesses go through.
Yep.
And when you stay tuned to this, you're also going to learn what Nick seldom doesn't share with people. So he's got some really cool things he's going to be telling us today, and some in the books. But stick around; it's going to be good. Nick, thanks for joining us.
Terrific, no problem.
Let's get into it. Apology. How did this come to fruition?
Yeah, well, apology comes from a few different places. I mean, for me, apology's always been with me. I think my personal opinion is it's in everybody. Apology is in everybody's DNA. I think it's really what makes us human.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I think everybody's got the ability to get knocked down, and they've got the ability to get back up one more time. I mean, think about it. Through human evolution, we've been knocked down many a time, plague, drought, floods, whatever it may be, and we've gotten back up. Humans have got this tenacity, this inbuilt energy in order to give it one more shot, to try again, to rebuild from the ashes. And that's really where apology came out of what's in me and also what's in you.
And you say that, but you look at most successful people out there in business, it's often when they got right to the bottom.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden they got to the bottom and were like, I now have to do something. And they changed. And it's sad that often we get to the bottom only to wait till we change and bring those things in. But people always get up.
Well, it's interesting. I think with that, Sean, often what you find with is humans sometimes lack perspectives, right?
Okay.
You said it's interesting. You said Nick's always like in first class lounges and he's traveling all over the world and stuff like that.
Hanging out with cool people.
It wasn't that long ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, to be brutally honest, that I was flat broke, with no money, with a wife that was pregnant, with literally nothing and a massive amount of debt. So I then made a conscious decision to say, I want to change the way I looked at things. I want to change my life, and I, really drew what I call a line in the sand. And that's super important, because when you draw a line in the sand, what you're able to do is say, okay, what do I want my life to be like? And that, Upology started that. Apology started for me to be able to say, look, I was in a really tough situation, exactly like I was saying, a business that went south because of a partner issue. I had to sell my house. There was a lot of things that came with that, and that's where Upology was born. But really, it was born before that in my life. Every time that I took a beating in life, every time somebody said, no, you can't do it. I mean, in my book I talk about it, at my school graduation, one of the brothers, one of the principals that was there, basically, shook my hand at the graduation and said, you better leave now because you're never going to be anything, you're hopeless and you're a loser. And I mean, so I turned that around to, be an award-winning speaker. I travel all over the world. I inspire thousands of people, and so it's really in us. You just have to know how to tap into it, and then boom, your life changes.
I think that's amazing, because I think anyone watching this can connect with that. This book is not for people who is not for someone who thinks they're going to make millions or billions. It's for anyone who just wants a better life. And you can start from any point.
Exactly.
And that's what I really love about your book. And so it's simple, it's easy to understand, easy to implement, but also the fact that it's for everyone, whether in life or business. Let's talk, you mentioned failure there. You talked about being at the bottom, going through a point of failure. I'm sure a lot of you have been through a point of failure. I've been through points of failure.
Absolutely.
Why do we fail?
Well, it's interesting. Look, I think that there's a myriad of reasons why we fail. Every time I speak, like, I just came back from Canada. There was 300 or 400 people in the room, and I asked everybody, and I said, how many of people have ever taken a beating in life or they've failed in life? And
everyone put up their hand, right?
Put their hand up. So I think one of the reasons that makes us fail is often, we don't plan, or often it's not that we fail, it's that we don't recover quick enough. And here's what I mean. I'll give you an example. If you go to brush your teeth in the morning and you go, well, there isn't any toothpaste, you can kind of freak out about it and go, oh my God, there's no toothpaste. But more than likely, you go, look, I've got to get on with work. I'll grab some chewing gum and I'm good to go.
Does
that make sense? You get on with it. Now, if you want to really, look at that, that's technically a small failure. Am I right? It's just a different way of looking at something.
Yeah.
I failed to put toothpaste on the toothbrush, right? However, in business, let's say if it costs you, hundreds of thousands of dollars to fail, often what happens with people, they don't get back up. So I reckon one of the reasons that we fail is that we don't have mechanisms in place to understand how to understand the information quickly,
Okay.
how to fail fast,
Yes.
and most importantly, what to do next.
Recover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you can move past it, you can recover quickly. And I'll give you an example. Most high-level entrepreneurs, Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, any of these type of people have been flat broke many a time.
Yes.
I mean, it's recorded many and many a time. Jim Rohn, any of Tom Hopkins, any of the legends, that we know in personal development or business. But what they've been able to do is they don't stay there for that long.
No.
They bounce back within a year, 18 months.
But they often turn these guys turn failure into a positive.
Success,
Yeah,
exactly.
they do the complete swing.
Exactly.
They learn so quickly from that point, and it makes them bigger and better people.
Yeah, because I think, the whole principle in Upology, one of the foundational principles is renewal. And renewal means that how do I change my level of thinking to adapt quickly to the situation? Because yesterday's thinking can only get you to where you are now, and then the thinking that you need to go on in life needs to be different. So once again, it's interesting you should say that. They interviewed Donald Trump. That's, I think, was in the Guinness Book the Guinness Book of World Records for the most amount of private debt. And when they interviewed him, they said, to Donald, they said how did it feel when you had over $1 billion? I think it was like a multiple billions of dollars worth of debt. And he said, I didn't lose a wink of sleep. And they asked him, why not? He said, because I knew that it's only a matter of time before I come back. Yeah. And he's in the Guinness Book of World Records again for the quickest recovery and success to, go up and make like 3 times the amount in under 12 months. So do you see what I mean? Like
anything's possible.
Anything's possible. And it's
reframe.
just a shift in mindset. Exactly.
I like that. How do we know though when we're going in the right direction, or if we're on track for success or not on track for success? How do we? I always wonder. I always sit there and I go, "Am I going the right way? How do I know? What do I look for? Signposts."
That's a great question. I think there's a few different things, right? And one of the main things that I look at is, first of all, you've got an inbuilt, I'm going to say an inbuilt GPS.
Okay.
And let me give you an understanding. When you're right in the zone, when you're having fun, whether it's a personal situation where you're on holidays with your girl, or you're at a bar with some friends, that time kind of slows down a little bit, and you just feel, you go, you know what? I'd rather be no other place but this. I'm having fun. I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
You can feel that. Dr. Wayne Dyer said it perfectly. He said, for me to be inspired is to be in spirit. So when I'm connected at that level, I feel a few things. One is, I know that if I help others and I'm in service of others, I'm on the right track.
Okay.
Every time that I'm selfish and all I do is try to take, or, in business, buy my stuff, but like, I know that I'm out of sync. So one of the things that I look at, and everybody's got this inbuilt mechanism, is to go, how do I feel? Do I feel uplifted with energy? Do I feel like I can do this without the need of getting paid for it? Is it helping myself and helping others? And most importantly, the reason I know that I'm on track is, how am I growing?
Okay.
You know, I just had a birthday recently, a couple of weeks ago, and I've got a habit that I do on my birthday. And one of the habits is, I look in the mirror and I go, I've gotten to this age, 21. I've gotten to this age, and I asked myself, have I grown this year?
Okay.
Has my business grown this year? Have I grown as a father, as a friend, as a husband? And also, have I grown by helping more people? And that's when I know that I'm on track.
You're going the right way.
I'm on the right track.
No, I like that. I like it. Do you ask yourself, are you on the right track? What are the questions? And you spoke there about habits. I know you have a thing that rituals and personal philosophies are important to life in the way you go about life. What are some of the rituals or habits or personal philosophies that you implement in your life?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, Sean, it was really good because I've had the grounding of about 10 years of martial arts. So I've done, no, I like hugging people.
It's a bit of a hugger.
Exactly. So I've done, 10 years of martial arts, in Kung Fu. Most of it was in Kung Fu. And one of the things that you do is you learn certain habits and certain techniques. Now, for me, I like a few different habits. Number one, I think it's important to be able to center your mind. In other words, in today's day and age, as you know, we've got the advent of the World Wide Web, and there's so much information that sometimes it just becomes either stifling or so full on that you're just trying to decipher what's right or wrong. So what I do is, I've got Tony Robbins, he calls it the hour of power in the morning. So what I do is, I have a habit or a ritual that I put in. Number one is, how do I get connected with myself?
Okay.
And by this I mean, I don't have to sit on the mat and cross my legs and do the Om thing. I use technology actually to be able to do that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So I've got what I call a guided visualization. So it's a download people can get from Omvana, which is Mind Valley's thing. So OMVANA. Anyone that wants to check it out, it's free. And I just put my headphones on. I wake up. It's 10 minutes, and I just visualize my goals. I visualize who I want to be in life. I visualize, if I want to be on stages. So effectively, I'm using the law of attraction, if you want to think that way. Then what I do, I think, so that's for the mind. And then for the body, it's important, that I also have habits for the body. Now, I'm not a gym junkie, and I don't think we really need to be. But I like to work out, 4 days a week.
Nice.
It's 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, do 3, 4, 5, 6 exercises, and I'm good. And what that does is it just maintains my energy levels, and it maintains who I am.
I like it. And I think you need to put those, there's a lot of stuff. Now, what I really want to get into today is the principles of Upology to business and life. Let's talk about those principles.
Terrific.
And how people can apply them, I guess.
Terrific. So
watch and listen.
Yeah. So there's 2 foundational principles and 4 pillars that I talk about. So the foundational principle number 1 is what's called renewal. And the symbol for renewal is actually the Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its tail. So it's an Egyptian symbol that means every time that you get to a certain point, you start again. So a lot of people in business, as an example, they have some success, and then what they do is they plateau.
Yes.
Where with renewal, once you have that success, you see where you are and you go, how do I figure out how to take it to that next level?
Yes.
In a personal life, it means, how do I become a better partner? How do I become a better dad? How do I become a better husband? How do I
ongoing improvement.
Exactly, ongoing improvement. Principle number 2 is the symbol of the yin and yang. Now, a lot of people just think that it's balance, but in actual fact, it's also what's called duality. In other words, we're not always happy, up, loving life. Sometimes, things happen, right? So it's about understanding how to balance that. Understanding to go, well, if I'm down, I can pick myself up, and if I'm up, I can actually feel better than where I am now.
Yes.
Yeah? Now, then I've got pillar number 1, which is mindset. So mindset, what I talk about, a lot of people say you can just positive think. Well, I don't believe so, because I think there's a layer below that, and the book talks about a lot, and it's on what's called mimetic structures. In other words, these are what's called viruses that the mind gets.
Okay.
So thoughts and beliefs that turn into words. So here's an example. Some people go, I did something in marketing and business, it didn't work out too well, so I must be a hopeless marketer. And they actually believe it. So every time that they go to do a marketing task, even if it's perfect and it's going to help them, they go, they hesitate. So it's about getting your mind right. Principle number 2 is about strategy. Having a personal strategy for yourself, for life, for relationships, and then having a business strategy, everything that comes under there. Principle number 3, I believe, is mastery. Because a lot of business owners want to chase, the shiny object, right? And they think, well, the grass is greener, or in actual fact, I know it's definitely not greener, right? And number 2, I think it takes time to be really good at your business.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes time to be good at in life, because as you evolve, you learn more. I wish I knew what I knew now 20 years ago, how to be better. And then the final principle is purpose. Finding your purpose. Ask yourself your why. Why do you get up in the morning?
Yeah.
Why do you do what you do? And that's super powerful, because it helps tie everything together.
Ask your why.
Ask your why.
Ask your why. Exactly. Good. That's amazing. And these are not difficult things for people to do. Easy
right?
to implement, easy to do. I really encourage you to rewind, watch again.
Rewind.
Watch
It's renewal.
Renewal.
Watch again.
Just keep, and this is stuff that principles, philosophies you can constantly. I encourage you to get the book, Upology. It's a really good read, and it's what I love about it is you read a chapter, it's like I can do that right now.
Yeah, that's how I wanted to make it.
I can do that, and you'll see changes right away. Nick, thanks so much for coming. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. I love the way that you do not stop at sharing and giving to the business community.
Yeah, I like to do that.
And you're a good man like that. So thank you for watching Village TV. Please have a look at Upology. Have a chat with Nick, and make sure you're putting the right principles into your life so that you're moving in the right direction in life and business, because they go hand in hand very often. Subscribe to Village TV, and you'll get many more great people like Nick to watch right here. Thank you for joining us. Nick, thanks for being with us today, mate.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor.
It's been great to have you. We'll see you soon.